It was an ordinary Sunday morning in a small church in the bustling city of Las Vegas. The sun shone brightly through the stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns on the wooden pews. The congregation was deep in worship, singing hymns with their hands lifted in praise. The pastor stood at the pulpit, delivering a sermon about faith and the power of prayer. Everything seemed normal, until something extraordinary happened that would change the lives of everyone present and eventually capture the attention of the world. In the middle of the service, a man who had been sitting in a wheelchair for years began to tremble. At first, people thought he might be overwhelmed with emotion from the sermon, but then, slowly and steadily, he started to rise. Gasps filled the room as those around him watched in disbelief. The man, whose legs had been paralyzed for years, was now standing, and then, as if guided by an unseen force, he took a step. The room erupted. Cries of joy and disbelief echoed through the church. People began praising God, tears streaming down their faces. Some fell to their knees in gratitude, while others clapped and shouted praises. The man who had been healed was weeping, his hands lifted to the sky as he repeated the words, "Thank you, Jesus." This wasn't just a small moment of faith. It was something that felt miraculous to everyone who witnessed it. People took out their phones to record the scene, desperate to capture the unexplainable moment. Word of the event spread quickly, first among the local community and then across the internet. Soon, news outlets began picking up the story, labeling it as a modern-day miracle. But what made this story truly unique was that it didn't just stay within the walls of that church. It reached someone who you would never expect to take notice of such an event, Elon Musk. The tech billionaire, entrepreneur, and often outspoken critic of organized religion, found himself drawn to this story. What about this event could possibly intrigue someone like Musk? That was the question everyone began asking. When Elon Musk first heard about the Vegas church miracle, his reaction was unexpected. Musk is a man known for his unwavering belief in science and technology. He's someone who has spent his life pushing the boundaries of what humanity can achieve through logic, engineering, and innovation. So why would he, of all people, take an interest in a church event described as a miracle? It began with a single tweet. Musk, who is no stranger to sparking debates online, posted, "A man in Vegas stood up from a wheelchair after years of paralysis. Miracle or something else? Thoughts?" The tweet instantly went viral, drawing millions of comments, retweets, and likes. People from all over the world weighed in, some sharing their belief in divine intervention, while others argued it must have been a hoax or a medical anomaly. Musk didn't stop there. He began asking deeper questions. What causes these events? Are they psychological, biological, or could they truly be something beyond science? These questions sparked even more debate. Scientists, religious leaders, and ordinary people all chimed in with their perspective. Some praised Musk for being open-minded enough to explore the possibility of a miracle, while others accused him of trying to disprove it. What made Musk's curiosity even more intriguing was that he reportedly reached out to witnesses who had been in the church that day. He wanted first-hand accounts of what had happened. According to sources, Musk was particularly interested in the emotional and spiritual atmosphere of the moment. One witness told him, "It wasn't just a physical healing, it was like the entire room was filled with a presence, something greater than all of us." Musk's engagement with the story quickly became a global phenomenon. News outlets began covering his involvement, with headlines like "Elon Musk investigates Vegas miracle" and "Musk's unexpected interest in faith." For someone who had often been vocal about his skepticism of religion, this was a surprising turn of events. But what was Musk really looking for? Was he trying to debunk the miracle, or was he genuinely open to the possibility of something greater? As Musk's involvement in the story grew, the miracle in the Vegas church became a worldwide sensation. News channels ran 24-hour coverage of the event, dissecting every detail of what had happened. Social media platforms were flooded with videos, photos, and personal accounts from people who had been there. The man who had been healed became a symbol of hope for millions, his story inspiring countless others to share their own testimonies of faith and healing. Churches around the world began discussing the Vegas miracle during their sermons. Pastors called it proof of God's power, while skeptics argued that it could have been a coincidence or even a staged event. But the more people debated it, the more attention it received. Elon Musk, however, remained focused on uncovering the truth. He reportedly consulted with medical experts to understand the science behind paralysis and whether such a sudden recovery was even possible. He also reached out to theologians and spiritual leaders to get their take on the event. Musk's willingness to explore both the scientific and spiritual aspects of the miracle made the story even more compelling. But it wasn't just the miracle itself that captivated people, it was Musk's response to it. For someone who had spent his life challenging traditional beliefs, his interest in this event was seen as a possible turning point. People began to wonder, could this be the moment that changes Elon Musk's views on God and faith? As Elon Musk delved deeper into the Vegas miracle, he requested detailed accounts from those who had been present at the church that day. Witness after witness described the moment with a sense of awe and reverence, struggling to put into words what they had seen and felt. These testimonies only added to the mystery and left even skeptics questioning their stance. One witness, an elderly woman who had been attending the church for over 20 years, described the atmosphere as heavenly. She said, "When the man stood up, it felt like time stopped. It was like everyone in the room felt something at the same time. A warmth, a presence, it was beyond explanation. You could feel it in your soul." Another witness, a young man who had initially been skeptical of miracles, shared his perspective. "I was only there because my mom asked me to come to church with her. I didn't even want to go. But when I saw that man stand up and walk, I knew I wasn't imagining things. It was real. You can't fake something like that." Even the pastor of the church was visibly emotional when recounting the event. In a video that later went viral, he said, "I've seen God do amazing things, but this was something I've never experienced before. It wasn't just about the healing of one man. It was a sign of God's power and love for all of us." Elon Musk, known for his meticulous approach to any topic, listened to these accounts with intense focus. Reports suggested that he took detailed notes and asked probing questions. "What did you feel in that moment?" he asked one witness. "Did the man say anything before he stood up? Was there any sign leading up to it?" The more Musk listened, the more intrigued he became. These weren't just random people making vague claims. These were detailed, consistent accounts from people who had no reason to fabricate their stories. The emotional weight of their testimonies was undeniable. But Musk wasn't ready to draw conclusions just yet. He wanted more information. He wanted to understand every angle of this event. And as his curiosity grew, so did the world's fascination with the story. Was Musk beginning to question his own beliefs? Or was he simply trying to gather enough evidence to explain the unexplainable? After weeks of investigation and silence, Elon Musk finally decided to speak publicly about the Vegas church miracle. The anticipation surrounding his statement was immense. People from all walks of life, believers, skeptics, scientists, and religious leaders, waited eagerly to hear what Musk would say. During a live interview on a global news network, Musk addressed the topic directly. He began by acknowledging the emotional and spiritual impact of the event. "There's no denying that what happened in that church touched a lot of people," he said. "It gave them hope, it strengthened their faith, and it brought communities together. That in itself is powerful." When asked whether he believed the event was a miracle, Musk hesitated for a moment. Then he said, "I don't know if I'd call it a miracle in the traditional sense. But it's clear that something extraordinary happened. Whether it's divine intervention or something we don't yet understand scientifically, it challenges our perspective on what's possible." This statement sent shockwaves around the world. For someone like Elon Musk, known for his scientific mindset and skepticism of religion, to even entertain the possibility of something beyond human understanding was monumental. His words were careful, measured, but undeniably open-minded. Musk went on to say, "The more I learn about the universe, the more I realize how little we truly know. Events like this remind us that there's so much we haven't figured out yet. Whether that means there's a higher power or simply forces we haven't discovered, I can't say for sure. But I'm not dismissing it." This admission sparked intense discussions across the globe. Was Musk beginning to lean toward faith? Or was he simply acknowledging the limits of science? His response left room for interpretation, and people on both sides of the debate claimed it as a victory. Elon Musk's involvement in the Vegas church miracle had a ripple effect that extended far beyond the event itself. Churches around the world saw a surge in attendance as people flocked to reconnect with their faith. Pastors began referencing Musk's statements in their sermons, using his words as a bridge between faith and science. At the same time, scientists and researchers became more vocal about investigating so-called miracles. Some saw this as an opportunity to explore the intersection of science and spirituality, while others hoped to debunk what they saw as myth. The Vegas miracle became a case study for both sides of the debate. Social media was flooded with discussions about the event. Hashtags like #VegasMiracle, #ElonMuskOnFaith, and #ModernMiracle began trending worldwide. People shared their own stories of faith, hope, and healing, inspired by the man who had risen from his wheelchair. Even celebrities weighed in on the topic, with some praising Musk for his open-mindedness and others criticizing him for not taking a definitive stance. For the man who had been healed, life would never be the same. He became a symbol of hope for millions, though he remained humble about the experience. "It wasn't about me," he said in an interview. "It was about God showing his power. I'm just grateful to be a part of it." Despite all the discussions, investigations, and debates, the Vegas church miracle remains a mystery. Scientists have yet to provide a definitive explanation, while religious leaders continue to view it as undeniable proof of God's power. But for Elon Musk, the event was more than just an unexplainable moment, it was a challenge to his understanding of the universe. In a later interview, Musk reflected on the experience. "I've always believed in exploring the unknown," he said. "Whether it's space, technology, or the mysteries of human existence, I think it's important to keep asking questions. The Vegas event is one of those things that makes you stop and think. And maybe that's the point, not to find all the answers, but to keep searching." Musk's words resonated with millions. They reminded people that, no matter how much we learn, there will always be things that remain beyond our understanding. And perhaps that's what makes life and faith so extraordinary. Elon Musk's reaction to the Vegas church miracle ignited a renewed conversation about the relationship between science and faith. Historically, these two realms have often been viewed as opposites, with science rooted in evidence and logic and faith reliant on belief in the unseen. Yet, this event challenged that divide, forcing people to consider whether the two could coexist. Musk, known for his scientific achievements, began exploring this intersection publicly. He suggested that science and faith might not be mutually exclusive. "Science explains the how, but maybe faith is about the why," he said during a podcast. "Just because something can't be measured or tested doesn't mean it isn't real. We might just not have the tools to understand it yet." This statement came as a shock to both his supporters in the scientific community and those in religious circles. Scientists admired his curiosity but questioned his openness to unproven phenomena. Meanwhile, people of faith saw his words as a bridge between their beliefs and the scientific world. Musk's willingness to consider the possibility of divine influence became a beacon of hope for many who longed for unity between the two fields. The debate wasn't just philosophical, it had practical implications. Universities began organizing seminars on the science of miracles, with panels that included physicists, theologians, and psychologists. Questions about the placebo effect, mind-body connections, and quantum physics were discussed in depth. Could what people experienced as miracles be explained by these fields, or was there truly something beyond human comprehension? Meanwhile, Musk's company SpaceX even funded a small research project to study unexplained phenomena. Though it wasn't directly linked to the Vegas miracle, it showed Musk's commitment to uncovering the mysteries of the universe. "We explore space to find answers," Musk explained. "Why not explore the unexplained here on Earth with the same enthusiasm?" The Vegas miracle had sparked something far greater than anyone could have imagined. It wasn't just about one man walking again, it was about humanity collectively questioning what they believed to be possible. For many, it was a reminder to stay open-minded, whether they leaned toward science, faith, or somewhere in between. Before the Vegas miracle, Elon Musk was seen as a visionary inventor and entrepreneur, but also as someone who didn't shy away from controversy. He had often been vocal about his skepticism toward organized religion, even joking about it during interviews. But the way he approached this miracle, open-minded, curious, and respectful, shifted public perception. People began to see Musk in a new light. He wasn't just a billionaire focused on technological advancements. He was someone willing to question his own belief. This vulnerability resonated with millions. "Elon Musk taught us that it's okay to not have all the answers," one Twitter user wrote. "He's a reminder that even the smartest people in the world are still learning." Religious leaders across the globe began referencing Musk in their sermons. They called him a modern example of someone seeking truth. Even Pope Francis mentioned the story, stating, "Faith is not the absence of doubt, but the courage to seek answers." Elon Musk, knowingly or not, is walking this path. On the flip side, Musk's openness also drew criticism. Some accused him of pandering to religious audiences for popularity, while others argued that his approach was too neutral. "You can't sit on the fence forever," one commentator said. "Either you believe in miracles or you don't." But Musk remained unfazed by the criticism. In a candid moment during an interview, he explained, "I don't think it's about picking sides. Life isn't black and white. It's about asking questions, learning, and growing. If that means challenging what I've believed in the past, so be it." This balanced perspective earned Musk even more admiration from those who appreciated his humility and intellectual honesty. It also solidified his role as someone who wasn't afraid to tackle the big questions, whether about the universe, artificial intelligence, or faith. As the months passed, the Vegas church miracle continued to be a topic of conversation. But it wasn't just the event itself that left a mark, it was the discussions, questions, and transformations it sparked. For many, the miracle became a symbol of hope in a world often filled with doubt and division. The man who had been healed continued to share his testimony, traveling to churches, conferences, and events. His story inspired countless others to believe in the power of faith and prayer. But he remained humble, always pointing back to the moment that changed his life. "It wasn't about me," he often said. It was about God showing us that He's still here, still working in our lives. For Elon Musk, the experience was transformative in its own way. While he never fully embraced religion, he admitted that the miracle made him more open to the unknown. In a tweet that became one of his most shared posts, Musk wrote, "The universe is vast and mysterious. Maybe we don't need to explain everything, maybe we just need to stay curious." This sentiment resonated deeply with people from all walks of life. It reminded them that it's okay to live with questions, to embrace the unknown, and to remain open to possibilities. The Vegas miracle wasn't just an event, it was a call to re-examine what we believe about faith, science, and the human spirit. And so, the legacy of the Vegas church miracle lives on, not just in the life of the man who was healed, but in the countless lives it touched. It reminded the world that miracles, whether divine or unexplained, have the power to unite us, inspire us, and challenge us to look beyond what we think we know. The Vegas miracle wasn't just a story for the headlines, it became a global moment of reflection. People across continents began revisiting their beliefs, about God, about science, and about the mysteries of existence. What happened in that church symbolized something universal: the human need for hope, for faith, and for answers to life's biggest questions. For many, the miracle became a symbol of divine intervention. Religious leaders emphasized that this was a wake-up call for humanity to return to their spiritual root. Sermons were filled with messages of hope, urging people to trust in a higher power. "God is still with us," a pastor said during a televised service that referenced the event. "This miracle is proof that He is watching, guiding, and loving us." But the miracle wasn't just for believers. Even skeptics couldn't deny the impact it had on people's lives. A sociologist studying the aftermath noted, "Whether or not you believe in miracles, the hope this event inspired is real. And hope is one of the most powerful forces in the world." Elon Musk's involvement only amplified the story's reach. His open-minded approach became a model for those who didn't consider themselves religious but were still curious about the possibility of the unknown. "You don't have to believe everything you hear," Musk said during a Q&A session. "But you also don't have to dismiss things just because you don't understand them. The key is to stay curious and keep learning." This sentiment resonated with a younger audience, many of whom were grappling with questions about faith and science. Social media platforms were flooded with discussions, debates, and personal stories inspired by the miracle. People shared their own experiences of unexplainable moments, creating a global dialogue about the nature of belief and the mysteries of life. The ripple effect was undeniable. Donations to charities increased as people were moved by the story of the man who was healed. Communities came together to support one another, inspired by the idea that miracles, whether divine or human, are possible when people unite in hope and compassion. While the Vegas miracle challenged Elon Musk's perspective, it also sparked a deeper curiosity in him. True to his nature, Musk didn't stop at questions. He sought answers. In the months following the event, Musk began funding research into phenomena often dismissed by mainstream science. This wasn't about debunking miracles, he clarified, but about understanding the mechanisms behind extraordinary events. "If there's one thing I've learned, it's that understanding the unknown doesn't diminish its wonder, it enhances it," Musk said in a rare, reflective interview. One area Musk was particularly interested in was the role of consciousness. He worked with leading neuroscientists and philosophers to explore the mind's potential to influence the body. Could the man's healing be connected to his faith, his mental state, or a combination of factors science hadn't yet understood? Musk's interest didn't stop with science. He also reached out to religious leaders from various faiths, engaging in dialogues about spirituality, morality, and the human spirit. These conversations were groundbreaking, bringing together minds that might never have collaborated otherwise. "We're all looking for the same thing," Musk said. "We're looking for meaning, for purpose, for connection. Whether through science or faith, the goal is the same." These efforts earned Musk admiration from unexpected quarters. Religious leaders praised his humility and willingness to engage with different perspectives. Scientists appreciated his relentless pursuit of knowledge, even in areas often considered taboo. And the public, watching all of this unfold, began to see Musk as more than a tech mogul. He was becoming a symbol of curiosity and open-mindedness. As the world moved on from the initial shock of the Vegas church miracle, one question lingered: what does this mean for us? Whether viewed as a divine act, a scientific anomaly, or a mix of both, the event left people questioning their place in the universe. For believers, it reaffirmed their faith. It was proof that God is still active in the world, performing miracles to inspire and guide humanity. For skeptics, it was a reminder that not everything can be easily explained, but that doesn't mean it's unworthy of investigation. And for those in between, it was a call to stay curious, to keep questioning, and to remain open to possibilities. Even Elon Musk admitted that the event had left him with more questions than answers. In his closing remarks during a panel discussion, he said, "I don't know if we'll ever fully understand what happened in Vegas. But maybe that's the point. Life isn't about having all the answers, it's about the journey of finding them." This perspective resonated deeply with people. It reminded them that uncertainty isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. The Vegas miracle wasn't just about one man's healing, it was about humanity's collective search for meaning. And so, the story lives on, not just in the headlines, but in the hearts and minds of those it touched. It's a reminder that, in a world often filled with doubt and division, moments of wonder can bring us together. Whether you see it as a miracle, a mystery, or simply a question waiting to be answered, one thing is clear. The Vegas church miracle is a story that will be told for generations to come. The story of the Vegas church miracle continued to ripple through society, leaving an everlasting impact on both individuals and communities. It wasn't just about the moment of healing, it was about the conversations, the hope, and the inspiration it sparked. From classrooms to dinner tables, people everywhere were debating, reflecting, and sharing their perspectives. For many, the miracle served as a catalyst for self-reflection. It pushed people to reconsider their priorities, their relationships, and their connection to something greater than themselves. Churches across the globe saw an increase in attendance as people sought to reconnect with their faith. Prayer groups formed, spiritual retreats became more popular, and communities began uniting in ways they hadn't before. Even in secular spaces, the story had an impact. It reminded people of the importance of hope, kindness, and resilience. Whether it's a miracle or not, the way this story has brought people together is something we all need to celebrate, one talk show host said. Elon Musk, too, acknowledged the event's enduring significance. "It's not just about believing in miracles," he said. "It's about believing in possibilities for healing, for connection, and for understanding the mysteries of life." The legacy of the Vegas miracle is proof that some stories truly never end.